Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
What's your name?
I'm Haley Shelton.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Stephanie. So before we get started, the bathroom's right down the hall to the right. If you need to use that before we begin,
I'm okay,
you're all
thank
good.
you.
Cool. And when's the last time you've eaten?
Within the last hour.
Within the hour. Cool. And how'd you get here? You find it well?
Yeah, it was a little hard to find with the traffic, but
Yeah.
I
The
got here.
DMV is right below us, so it can be a little.
There you go.
A little always busy for the wrong reasons. That's for sure. Cool. So before we get started, I'll introduce myself again. I'm Stephanie. I'm the social worker here at Putnam County Department of Social Services.
Okay.
What we provide is a variety of assistance. So as we're saying, the temporary assistance for families in need. We have child subsidy programs for child care, medical assistance such as Medicaid, as well as food assistance that can vary from a variety of spectrums such as food stamps to local parishes, all of that. Cool. That leads us into our confidentiality that stays between us. So whatever we say here remains between us unless it has to do with the harming of others or yourself, as well as any form of child abuse.
Okay.
Cool. We got that. So what brings you in today?
So I'm looking for some extra assistance with food and clothing, but I just want to start off by saying that I'm not really interested in any type of federal assistance.
Okay.
Just hoping we could look at some other options today, maybe.
All right, great. So before we get right into that, we'll start to do an intake form. Before we just got to get all the basic information down.
Okay.
Promise it won't be long. But you're definitely in the right place, and we can be a resource of you for totally. So your full name?
Haley Shelton.
Cool. Shelton. Date of birth?
April 6, 1996.
And your permanent address?
58 Main Street.
Main Street. Okay. And how long have you been living at that address?
About the past 5 years.
About 5 years. You like it?
Yeah, it's a little snug, but it works.
But it works, yeah.
It's home.
Definitely. It's a good place. You're right in between everything.
Yeah.
Food stores,
yeah,
everything.
it's a nice little apartment.
Yeah. Is it loud at night?
A little bit.
A
yeah,
little?
the weekends mostly.
But you get used to it after time?
Yeah.
Figured. Cool. And where's the nearest family to you?
Well, my sister lives about a block away.
Oh, cool.
With her children, my niece and nephew.
Oh, awesome.
My parents are down in Florida.
Okay, so they're out of the picture for right now.
Yeah, we've been beginning to see them. It's a little tough right now, but
Yeah.
hopefully in the future.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Where in Florida are they?
They're in Spring Hill, Florida.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah.
Lucky you. It'd be great when you can make your way down there to visit.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what is your marital status?
I'm married to my husband.
Married. And that leads me to my next question. Family type. It could be single adult with or without children, or couple with or without children.
Couple with children.
Children. And how many children do you have?
2.
2.
4 and 6.
4 and 6. Great. And is that the same age as your niece and nephew?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Hers
is?
are 3 and 7, but right around the same.
Cool. So that must be helpful. You have someone to play with.
Yeah, right around the same.
That's
age.
awesome. And do you have a number that I'd be able to reach you out on?
Yes. 845
Mm-hmm.
951 9003.
Cool. Thank you. Let's see. Have you ever worked with any other services before?
I have not. It's my
You
first time.
Cool. Not. Is there a reason for that, or you just haven't?
I think this is the first time I've felt the most need in my life.
Okay.
And I'm also, like I've mentioned before, hesitant about federal programs, and
Yeah.
I just think that's been maybe preventing me from coming in. So
Okay.
this is the first time.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Definitely with the federal programs, it's a lot to go through.
Absolutely.
The paperwork definitely being the biggest part of it, and there's a lot of steps, but you could definitely get what you need at the end of the day. And which is really great about our program is it is very versatile, and we have so many options and variety of things going from local to communal, as well as neighborhood communities as well, and then federal and state.
Absolutely.
So it's good if you can find your way in between there, and then we can be a resource to you.
Sure.
Cool. And your native language?
English.
English. Do you speak any other languages?
No.
No?
I wish I did. It would
Yeah.
be cool.
It's always good to know in the back of your head, right?
Yeah.
And your type of employment?
Right now, I am actually nanny for my sister.
Oh, cool.
My niece and nephew.
That's awesome. And is that full-time?
At the moment, yes.
Cool. Want to tell me a little bit more about that?
So my sister is a nurse at a hospital, and she usually, on her way to work, drops the kids off at my
Awesome.
place.
Cool.
And the 4 of them usually play all day, and we like to do a lot of things outdoors. I take them on walks.
Just get out of the house for a little bit.
Yeah, some days, a couple days a week, I try to go over there so I can help my sister around the house, try to clean while she's gone.
Oh, okay. So like a give and take
Yeah,
type of
so
thing.
maybe get dinner started or something.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you help her out on your end, and she helps you out on yours.
Absolutely.
That's great. And your husband's type of employment?
He works for the highway department.
Oh, cool. Must have rough hours, huh?
It really varies, weather and depending on need and just
Probably with this last snowstorm. Oh,
the
jeez.
snow. Yeah,
That must have been a lot, right?
Yeah, they really needed some help
so
there.
he's full time, and it's hard because then after you work, you got to recoup and the kids, and it's a lot on your plate. I could see why you'd be overwhelmed by that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. And he's a fan of the apartment location too. It's probably easy to get to and from work.
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we both agree someday it would be nicer to get something bigger, but for now it works for us.
Cool. We're going to get into the health portion of the intake. It's just a few questions. Do you have any past usage of substance use?
No.
Nothing. And your health status right now? Physically, mentally, where do you believe you are?
Physically, very well. I try to stay pretty active.
Mm-hmm.
I think mentally, just a little overwhelmed or stressed, but besides that, in good health, just normal, everyday stress.
Great. And then what do you do when you do feel stressed out?
I try to just take a second away from the kids. If I set them up with a movie and try to maybe read a book or go on a walk, just try to take some moments to myself.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then what do you enjoy to do when you're trying to be active? And
I really like going on runs or walks. They have those bicycles that you can rent right off the bike
sweet.
racks. Yeah,
that must be fun. Do the kids know how to ride a bike yet?
We're still working on it with training wheels.
Yeah,
but
it can go either way at this point.
Yeah,
right?
We'll get there soon.
Awesome. And then have you ever asked for previous psychiatric help?
No.
No. And your medication? Have you ever been on medication before?
No.
Nothing. Great. And do you feel safe
Yes.
at home? Great. And my last question is transportation.
At the moment, I don't have a car, so I use the bus system a lot, or my sister will drive me if needed.
Oh, cool. Okay. And how are you with the bus system?
It was hard at first, but I think I got it down.
Definitely. The routes can be weird. The timing's a struggle because, especially when the weather's like this, the bus is supposed to come in 15 minutes and then it's 30.
Absolutely, but
That can definitely be.
yeah, I use it a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just reverting back to what we said, what brings you in today, I'm just curious as to why you would prefer a different type of assistance rather than federal.
Well, my husband and I both volunteer for our church a lot. We're very involved
What
with our
church are you at?
parish. St. John's.
Oh, awesome. The
Yeah.
evangelist.
Yes, yes.
That's great. It's so beautiful with all the stained glass there.
Gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we both are very involved in the community there. We volunteer there, whether it's teaching Sunday school or helping out at the masses.
So that's a little something to do and take the kids and a
Yeah,
nice outing thing.
It's definitely a family thing.
And so all you guys volunteer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, the kids are involved in the programs there, and we do a lot. And I feel like if I were to receive assistance, I would prefer it would be through a parish, because then I would feel like I'm giving back to them what they're giving to me.
Oh, okay.
And with a federal program, I don't see any way I'd be able to repay that, or I don't know how to give that back.
So you seem very service-oriented, is what I see.
And with a federal program, I just feel like I might be taking from someone else who might need it more than me.
Okay. That's great. So on a scale 1 to 10, 10 being most severe, where do you see your need for assistance?
Probably a 5 or a 6.
5 or 6. Okay.
I feel like I have enough money, and then when the bills come in, I'm always like just short.
Everything adds up.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It adds up quick, so I feel like I might just need a little push. I need, just to get the ball rolling.
No, for sure. That's great. And have you looked into furthering your education? Because I remember you mentioning that your highest education was high school.
My goal would be to go back to school and maybe become a nurse like my sister.
Oh, cool.
But it's hard.
Those are weird hours, but sometimes you can make it work out.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's just hard to put that into the picture right now.
Yeah, when you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I can see why you feel overwhelmed. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But nursing is great, too. And you're helping someone. It's a give and take reward.
Yeah.
But you're always on your feet.
Yep. A lot of walking.
It's worth it. What do you like about nursing?
Just I love helping people. Whether it's my kids, my niece and nephew, I love being able to help people. And, just as a mom, you're always taking care of boo-boos.
It's good background before you get
there. Right? So I think it's something I'd enjoy.
Yeah. And your sister loves it.
Yeah,
She'd probably love if you guys were at the same
yeah,
place.
absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're very close.
Have you looked into any universities or schools that maybe you'd be interested in the long run?
I started looking at Siena College.
Oh, nice school.
Yeah.
Siena College. And what do you think about them?
I really like them.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about on their website.
Yeah,
they
have
nice.
A lot of stuff to offer. That's
Absolutely.
for sure, and a variety of programs. And
Absolutely.
they work right at the Albany Medical Center too. So
yeah.
if you ever have an internship or just want to just do volunteering as well, there it's
yeah.
really accessible. That's really great. Cool. So then, if you could just give me a little bit more of a lowdown on the clothing and food. So where do you think you're at with that right now?
Well, right
or
now...
what would be your need? I know with the upcoming season, it doesn't seem like it's going to be spring just yet, but hopefully sooner down the line it will be. So what are we thinking for that?
Well, right now, one of the things my sister does for me in return for nannying her kids, she usually tries to stock our fridge every week.
Awesome. And
I'm so grateful for that. But sometimes, I mean, it's just not enough, which doesn't fall on her. I mean, she also has to buy her own groceries.
Yeah.
And, you know, with 2 kids that are growing so fast, they're hungry. And with the clothes, it's not that they are wearing the same outfit 4 times a week or wearing T-shirts.
You just want something fresh.
Yeah, it's not like they're wearing T-shirts in the middle of winter or anything.
Yeah.
But their clothes are maybe getting a little more snug and could go a size up or need something fresh for spring.
And they're growing too with this rate.
Yeah,
Jeez.
absolutely.
So that's great that she seems really helpful on that end as well.
100%.
Have you talked to her about any of this?
I have not. That's actually another difficulty I'm experiencing.
Okay.
I feel if she knew I was here, she would feel more responsible and feel the need to help even more than she's already helping.
Okay.
And she does so much already. I don't want to put her in a position of like financial vulnerability because she's already helping so much.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you know, a nurse's salary isn't amazing. She gets by, but she can't be supporting 2 families.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm dependent on her right now, and I don't want her to feel like she's not doing enough for us.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just need a little push.
A little push. Okay. And then you use the word dependent. I'm just a little bit confused or more so curious as to why you use that. As you said before, you kind of do a little bit of a give and take, but do you feel maybe hers is a little more intense than what you can provide for her?
I think hers is a little more intense. Even though childcare is expensive if she were to go through a daycare, I don't know if every week if she weren't stocking our fridge that I would be able to, or you know, if she weren't maybe donating her kids' clothes down to my kids when they
It's that little bit of help that you needed.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's good for you because on your end, your childcare is taken care of right now. And at this age too, it's that pivotal age where they want to be with mom and dad and they want that whole thing. So it's nice that you get to spend it with them as well as being a huge part in your niece and nephew's lives as well. So I can definitely see why you would feel dependent in some sense, and that you don't want to add that extra responsibility, or more so her to feel, hey, I might be obligated to pay her a little bit more or give a little bit more food, because and it's also your sister. So at the end of the time, you know, she's there and you're there. So I definitely understand that. All right. So is she involved in the churches as well?
Yeah, she
is.
Not as much volunteering just because she does work those hours, but she does like to attend the masses every weekend.
Oh, great. So usually for the most part, everyone's involved.
Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do altogether.
Absolutely.
Cool. And so are you just at St. John's?
Yeah, for now. Yep.
St. John's. Great. So we can look into some churches. So the really cool thing about our local resources is a lot of churches sponsor food pantries, food drives, clothing drives, all of that, which you can definitely go and volunteer at. And we could put together a whole list of things that we're able to talk about and what you would feel comfortable going out. So it's all denominations we could say, of Christianity or of other religions that also donate and stuff like that. So you'd be able to volunteer there as well if you wanted to add maybe another little outing for the kids.
Absolutely.
Just something to think about. Would you be willing to look at federal assistance?
I think I would really like to try going through a parish first.
Okay.
And if we tried that and maybe it's still not meeting my needs, we could come back and reassess, and that might be something I could look into.
Okay, great. And then let's just see. If you could just give me a few items that you are in need of right now, so then I can kind of direct you to what food pantry is most efficient, or like you said on the bus line, I can try and find one. Do you know what bus line you're on?
I don't off the top of my head.
Yeah, probably know when you see it.
Yeah, but I just know which one to get on, right?
All right, cool. So then, if you want to find that out before the next visit, then we'll be able to put together what route you're on. Because if you're on Main Street, then I believe that's the 100 bus.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Okay, cool. Because if that goes east, cool. So then we'll say that for right now. I'll look it up, and if you want to confirm, and then when before you leave, we'll exchange numbers as well for the Department of Social Services, and then you could just let me know if that's definitely the line that you're on.
Sure.
Cool, because I just want to see if you're going east or west, because all of them wind up back here.
Yep.
So it's the DMV. All right, cool. So we'll do that. So what are some items that you think that?
It would be good to get more canned goods because I love to feed the kids vegetables, and anytime we can get.
And do you cook a lot?
Yeah,
nice.
I love to cook.
What type of cooking do you do?
I usually try to do dinner and breakfast. Lunch, I like to let the kids help, so we'll make sandwiches together.
Oh, fun.
Stuff like that.
That's also entertaining for them, too.
Yeah.
Oh, and not that messy.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Cool. So some canned goods.
Yeah, or maybe some things like pasta for dinner that doesn't take too long and is obviously easy. And then, something, if my husband's late, he could always reheat if needed.
Oh, good. Thinking outside the box. I like that.
Yeah, so things like that.
Great. And then for clothing?
Definitely things now that we're nearing spring, maybe like some new sandals for the kids or some short sleeve tops once the weather starts to get warmer.
Cool, short sleeve tops. And then I know that you discussed previously that they're just some fresh clothes for the kids, but do you feel like you and your husband need stuff? Because also at the clothing drives through St. Anne's and St. John's, which are right off of Main Street, also have adult clothing.
I think for now my husband's okay. His work actually supplies a uniform that they wear. And
must be helpful too with laundry.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And for me right now, I mean, most days I dress pretty casual, just a sweater and yoga pants because I'm with the kids. But I think for when I do start school, I'd want some more professional clothes that I could wear to class or interviews or just a little bit more appropriate for like a school setting or going to an interview for when that time comes.
Okay. And would you ever consider maybe taking up another job if it worked out with your husband's schedule?
Yeah, I think if we could make it work with the kids and my husband, I think that could be done.
Yeah, definitely. And are his parents local?
They actually live about 30 minutes away, so not too far.
Yeah, but you guys want to stay focused on what you're at right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I like how you said that you want to do that kind of give and take, that reward system too, because with the federal system, sometimes it's easy to get caught up and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very important to
and it is a long process too, and it definitely takes time. But I think if you're definitely not closed off to it, that's also good to be open-minded to definitely the variety of stuff that we have to offer here as well. So, all right, so we'll look into that for you. The food parishes, clothing drives. Would you be willing to volunteer maybe at the clothing or food drive?
I
with
would
the
love
kids?
to, absolutely.
Cool. And then, you know what? Actually, I'll write down the, what are your children's name and age so then I could put that in if they need volunteer slips.
Sure. There's,
pre-authorized.
There's Andrew, who's 6.
Andrew, who's 6. Cool.
And Lily, who's 4.
Lily's 4. Cool. And they're willing to help, probably stay by your side and do some of that.
Yeah,
cool.
It's important for them to know about giving back to your community, and I would love for them to be involved in
that's
this.
great.
Yeah.
And then maybe if you wanted to make a day out of it too, so the day's not too long, you could bring your niece and nephew.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing. And day out too.
Yeah.
And then you also get your help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So niece and nephew.
That sounds really good.
Awesome. That's great. And then, is there anything that I didn't ask you or anything that you want to ask me?
I guess my question would be, do I reach out to the church about receiving assistance from them, or is that something that your office and department does?
All right, cool. That's a good question. So as I said, we're the Department of Social Services. So I'm your social worker right now, and then we're like right now, if we stick to bus line 100, which I'm definitely pretty sure that you're on.
That sounds very familiar. I think that's it.
I'm gonna look up for stuff on that bus route, and would you mind walking? Maybe like
Not
a few
at all.
blocks, nothing.
Yeah, we love being outdoors.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So then I'm gonna try and find some stuff that's on the main bus line and a few blocks away.
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before I go into my next question, do you have a bus pass?
I usually just pay out of pocket.
Oh,
That's
cool.
what's easiest at
That's
the
easy
moment.
to go. Yeah, and the kids too. The bus lines here, the kids are free, which is so helpful.
I know, it really
That is really helpful because as much as it's like $1 here, $1 there, it adds up.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
is this on? Oh, it's still on. Yeah, definitely. So it adds up for sure. So we'll look for stuff on that routes, and then do you think with time you would be able maybe to talk to your sister about it, or do you want to see how this goes first?
I think I want to see how it goes for a little bit. I definitely have to, maybe practice with my husband or just talk over what I want to say, how I want to present the information in a way that she doesn't feel overwhelmed or feel like it's on her, and just get her to understand my point of view. That I just need.
You just need,
So
which is normal. A lot of people go through that, and sometimes you need that extra little step, or maybe just that one jacket that can hold you off for another winter season. And
so I'd love to get to the conversation eventually, but
right now we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So maybe I can print out some of the federal service applications just for you to look over. And if you want to bring your husband to the next meeting, I'm sure with the storm, he's probably
sorry I couldn't be here today.
He's probably off at work, and that's a lot too, to get two of you guys in one room together.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Absolutely.
And who's watching the kids right now?
My sister is. So sometimes we trade off.
So she's off. Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's working the night tonight, so today she's
cool.
off.
So she's with them.
Yes.
And does she take them around parks and stuff like that
Yeah,
too?
they love going to the parks.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. The really cool thing about St. John's and Elizabeth Ann, what I was just saying before, they also are right next to the huge Baldwin Park place.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you'll be able to take them to that park, which has anything from pools, if you guys want that, pools, playgrounds, basketball courts, you name it, they have it.
Great.
And it's cool because they provide all the equipment, so you don't need to bring anything.
That'd be great. And he loves basketball.
Yeah. Oh, great. Cool. So we'll write that down. Let me see what else. Great. So we went through. I know the intake form can be a little bit, iffy, but it's got to do it, right?
Yep. Part of the process.
Yes. Perfect. So then we got the clothing. So I'm just going to put a list together. So back to what you were saying, if it's me or you, so I'm going to contact them.
Okay.
So, which is really cool. So I'm going to put together a whole list, and then by the next time we meet, I'll put together what I believe would be the best and most efficient, and with the routes and stuff, because as much as walking, you guys like walking. If they're tired, sometimes it's not that great.
Yeah.
So we'll try and see which closest to the bus route, and the times of the buses too, as well, so we can get that into the mix. And then, I take care of putting all of that together, and then the next time we meet, then me and you can kind of go through, I like this, I don't like this, I'd like to volunteer here, maybe not there, and we'll go through that all together. Is that good?
Excellent.
And then, do you have any other questions that I can answer for you today?
I don't think so. I'll definitely have to go home and talk to my husband about what we talked about, see if he has any questions or concerns, but you were very helpful today, and I think
totally. Thank you.
I needed.
That's great. And I'm sorry that you were hesitant before coming into this. I know it's definitely overwhelming, but when you go and ask for help, it's that one step, maybe also another step that you just needed to kind of get out there and see what is available. Because it seems like there's so much, and then there's applications, and then you don't know where you're really fitting into, and so I can understand that. But I'm very happy you came in, and we could totally be of resource to you.
Thank you.
But before we end, if you want to just fill me in on some information, maybe between you and your husband, how you guys work out the hours when it's all jumbled up. Is that ever a problem? It kind of works. It seems like it's been working for you. It kind of works,
even though his hours do vary. We do try to make it work. Sometimes if I know he's going to be late, I'll stay at my sister's to make dinner, and we'll watch a movie after. So.
Oh, cool. And it's good you get to hang out with her, too, who doesn't love to be with their sister.
Yeah, so we make a night out of it. But yeah, we make sure to carve out family time when we can.
Cool. So as long as he's busy, you still find time.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
It's tough. That schedule is definitely tough. All right, cool. So we got everything. Let's see. And is it just you and your sister? Did you have any other siblings?
Nope, just us two.
Just you two. Cool. And has she been down to Florida recently?
I think she went
to get out
2
of this
years
weather?
ago, I believe. Yeah.
That's great. All right, cool. So we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Because I think the next bus is in, 30 minutes?
Yeah, just about.
Okay, cool. So we'll wrap this up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put together that list of parishes and additional food drives, clothing drives, and if you want, I know that St. John's, like I said, has that adult thing. So if you want to just scope around, it's just it's like a one floor thing. Okay. So you could see the kids wherever if they want to do their own shopping.
Absolutely.
Then by all means you could do that, and then you can just check maybe if you need to get like a raincoat. With this season, you might want to pick up a raincoat.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Just additional sources like that, and
Absolutely.
the food drives. Also, which is really great about the volunteering thing, is we do have a food assembly line. Also, that's down in Westchester, so you'd be able to do that, make a day out of it, and you're also able to eat there too. So it's cool. You can get a meal in, you're doing the service, and the kids, it's a fun job. It keeps the kids entertained. You kind of put in the meals on everyone's plate, and then you get to talk to everyone. And it's a good way to learn a lot about stuff too. So, and then next, if you want to come in, and I know that you were talking a lot about your education. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in that, maybe just put some stuff together. Not that we need to focus on it right now, but if it's something in the future that you're super interested in. And Siena is a really great school, and their new nursing program too, which is awesome. So there's definitely a lot to offer there. Cool. And if you forgot anything to ask during intake, no problem. We'll get to it later, because definitely sometimes you come here and it's overwhelming. Absolutely. I could imagine. But yeah, so then what time do you want to come in? Maybe next week we could try and make an appointment, or if you want to call me with the schedule with your children.
I should call you with the schedule just until, my husband's hours I figure out and what my sister's working. I'll have to call you to see what works best.
That's awesome. Sure. So we could figure that in. And if you want, you're able to bring the kids too. We have a playroom and everything that you guys can do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll put that together. I'll put together a list for you, and then on your way out, you could just grab a card from the secretary, and it has my extension on there, and then we can communicate back and forth on that. How does that sound?
That sounds really good. Thank you.
Cool. And the bus seems to be working for you right now.
Yep.
Cool. It's better that way too, because that's also a whole nother bill. Mm-hmm. So, and it's good to get usage out of it.
Yeah,
so you might as well.
It's a nice thing the city does. It's good.
Yeah, that's great.
A lot of people.
So we'll do the whole volunteering program, which I think is really, really awesome. And I think there's some that I can, off the top of my head, that I could definitely set you up with too. Also, I'm thinking about it before we wrap up. If your kids are 6 and 4, and how old is your niece and nephew?
3 and 7.
3 and 7. They have really great programs at the library.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we could do something like that. And I know that it's like pizza this, da-da-da. Well, when it goes with the letter of the week. So maybe we could set something up like that, because that's also a day off, and then you can get back and get a meal in as well.
Sure.
And then by time, if you want to maybe talk to your sister about what's going on. But right now, that's not our focus. We can also just kind of stay on target with the volunteering. And volunteering seems to be a huge portion of your life.
For sure.
So if you could do something in return for services, then I think that's the best thing that we could do. Cool. So I'll wait for you to schedule the appointment. Mm-hmm. I don't have any more questions for you. I know it's like question after question. But, and do you have any more for me?
No.
You're all good? Okay, cool. So then I will definitely try and free up some space for next week, and we'll figure that out and set up an appointment. But take your time, and don't worry. We're definitely a resource of use. It's a really great place that you came today, and I'm happy that you came, because it'd be intimidating coming and asking for help. But it's good if you need to get on your feet. And like you said, you and your husband are both really young, so it's not a problem. We'll find stuff, and it's good you guys are active, and it's not just one thing that we're looking for. It's a whole spectrum, which is really great too, because you guys are willing and want to do some of the volunteering and stuff like that. Yeah. Great, cool. So then I'm going to put you in for just sometime next week, and then you can call me. I'll switch the dates, this and that, and then I'll leave my number for you. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. No problem. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
No problem. Helpful. So then we'll see you next week?
Yes, see you next week. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Let's see.